Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fishy Business. It's the Friday night, loosely aquatic themed aquarium live stream. I always seem to want to call it a show, but it's very much not a show. It's just me sitting here chatting nonsense. How are we all? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me and you can see me. Let me know what you're doing on this fine evening. And let me know if you can hear any background noise. There's stuff going on. First order of business. Grab yourself a tasty beverage and snack tonight. We're starting off with Vocation Versions Jump for Juice Passion Fruit Pale Ale. Not going to lie, I picked it for its relatively mild strength and cheapness. But Vocation beers, I've been quite happy with them. This is the live stream where we talk about beers, fish, have a bit of a quiz, whatever you want to do. I've got my good old Aquarium Adventures tankard on the go. But yes, let me know in the chat, what have you been up to this week? What's been going on? What questions have you got? What things have you got to say? As always, that looks quite good. We're going to aim for a quiz, which is all fun, but I want as many of you as possible to play. There will be prizes. It might be discount vouchers and things like that rather than actually sending you things, because that's becoming a pain in the arse. Pain in the bum. Sorry, that's quite off-putting. About 500 yards that way, the Arctic monkeys are playing. And I can hear it, which is great, because they're playing tonight and tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, I'll just sit in the garden and listen to my own free private Arctic monkeys concert. That's what I meant to say. I don't know if it'll be coming across in the mic, because the mic only really picks up things about this much, but hey, you never know. If I get a copyright strike, who knows? Who have we got in this evening? We've got David. Says hello all. Hello David. Nabokov's in. Hans is in from Sweden. Hello Hans. Rebecca's here nice and early. Wow. Stuart from a sunny, blustery, not so warm Wolverhampton. It's been quite nice here today. Apparently we've got a heat wave on the way. Who knows? It might actually happen. But it's been alright today. Martin's in. Mark's in. Brian, good evening. Passing wind. That always makes me smile. Hello from Florida. Hello. Humble Apple Crumble says hello. Ross from a rather warm and sunny Edinburgh. Well, yes, indeed. Cheers to a rather warm and sunny day. I think I might have had this one before. I'm having flashbacks. Really nice fruity smell. An inoffensive taste. Yes, quite nice, quite nice. As a reminder, Graham has a second channel with clips and highlights from his videos. Yeah, I need to do something with that second channel. The idea was I would post like the quiz or interesting clips from the live stream, but it's not really happening because most of the people who are interested in seeing that turn up for the live stream. So I've not seen a huge take up in audience for anything that's just clips. I think I vastly overestimated my reach and audience, so we might be reformatting that, maybe doing some behind the scenes videos on the second channel, some less overt fishy videos. So I have this idea about, I don't know, reacting to videos or answering viewer comments. So I get lots of comments which infuriate me, and we might talk about some of them tonight. That I can't justify a video on the main channel responding to a stupid comment. And I shouldn't really call out stupid comments, because I want comments on my videos, stupid or not. But some of them, my God, do they infuriate me. Some of the entitled, jumped up internet warrior experts that just, I know I should ignore, but I'd like to take down a peg or two and just point out exactly how stupid they are, but maybe in a funny way, so as it's not quite as offensive, possibly. So that might be the sort of thing that we can see on the second channel. But there is the link for said second channel. There are some things in there, so as and when people agree to be guests on the channel, we might put up those clips and that sort of thing. So yeah, that kind of thing. Hi from Doncaster, says NJW. Hi from Sheffield. Hope you're well. Oh yes, and come and hang out with Graham and friends on Discord, indeed. Atomic batteries to full. Okay. Sharkfin Adventures says hello. Silver's in. How you doing, Tommy? All good. You can hear me. It's only a show when you add theme song. Well, we might have a theme tune for the quiz tonight. Big news. That took a lot of effort from me. Sharkfin says yes. Audio and video good. You're sexy looking. Okay, video's obviously got some kind of filter applied somewhere. Because I assure you, I am not. Hello. In the bag, says hello, and welcome back. Question, is there a rough theme this week or quiz hints? Should I give you some quiz hints? I think... So, as experienced Aquarium Adventures quizzers might note, there is a similarity to some questions. So there might be a Jean-Claude Van Damme question. There might be a couple of questions on current events. And just a couple of questions on things that I happen to have noticed this week, as well as some vaguely aquatic themes. So when the coronation was happening, okay, we had some coronation questions. There's no big event happening this weekend that I'm aware of, or is there? That was a strange wink. So you might have to be a UK resident to get some of them. I don't know, but no major theme this week. My fish tank aquatic says hello yourself. Right, what are we drinking? I'm drinking a new beer this time, not a deep Illum. I'm drinking an IPA from Four Corners Brewery named El Chingon, which means the good stuff, or the great one-ish. This is medicinal, so I've done something to myself. I don't know why, I don't know when, but at some point today I crippled my back and I can barely move, and it hurts every time I do move. So that's fun. So this is medicinal. I'm drugged up to the eyeballs. Now this will surely send me over the edge. Truly an indictment that I'm getting old, where I'm having back problems. Don't forget the like button. Also, if you do have any questions, feel free to ask any questions. Put the word question in your question and I will see your question a lot easier. Experienced watchers will know I'm not very good at managing the chat, so I quite often miss a lot of things. But if you write question, it flashes up yellow and I get to see it a little bit easier. A copyright well worth what the Arctic Monkeys, yeah. I mean, I can hear it clear as day. It's going to be... I should have really just invited all my friends round and sat in the garden and listened to them. I can literally see the stage from one corner of my garden. But, like, clear as a bell. So, hey, you know, be worth a copyright strike. Here we go. Okay, something my buddy does is question of the week or comment of the week, where he uses Nightbot to search for said comment and makes a video about them. Questions and whatnot. Yeah, sort of that kind of thing. So I'll indulge myself, seeing as I'm amongst friends with you lot here. Let me see if I can find what I was talking about. So I have my fair share of trolls, and I kind of like to feed the trolls sometimes, which I know I shouldn't do. But I do it as much for... It makes me laugh as much as they think they're annoying me sometimes. But sometimes they do genuinely annoy me and I'm like, what's wrong with you? But for instance, and I'm sure this will give them... I'm not going to be able to find it now. So there's someone that just, whatever video it is, he's commented on dozens and dozens of my videos, and it's always something about, mate, I think you're wrong. I don't know, you got this. And it's usually something where it's like a comment of a video. Let me see if I can move that out way. It's usually something along the lines of, I don't know, how to remove snails from your aquarium, or a good way to DIY snail trap. And his comment will be, so, how do you remove snails? And you're like, just watch the fucking video. So, for instance, let me see. How do we? Lost chat. Wait a minute. I'm professional. I can do this. So, for instance, so this is my pond filter, bog filter setup where I got my solar panels and all this stuff to set up a solar panel and make the energy free to use and all that good stuff. And his comment is, and they're always thinly veiled, whether you're like, are you taking the piss or are you being serious about this? But a pump anyway, solar panel, battery, solar charge controller, inverter, etc., etc. Probably about 15 years worth of electricity, money for a pump. Ha ha ha! By which time they will all need to be replaced. False economy. Now, in that video, I literally had a little section saying, some of you might be wondering how long the return on investment is with all this kit. So I've spent this much, and this is how much it would cost to run off the electricity, and this is how long it will take to pay back. So clearly didn't watch that. So, for instance, me going, I know it's tough to watch the whole video, but I do cover this, so you don't need to make wild guesses on the ROI when I tell you in the video. To which he replied, I don't believe your maths. You must have spent a couple of hundred. That pump should only cost 20 quid a year to run. And you're like, why do you persist with this? If I'm going to make a video about it, I could be wrong, but maths isn't a matter of faith. You don't have to believe me or not. So his response to that, or my response was, luckily maths isn't a matter of fate. I've given you the wattage of the pump, times 24 hours, times 365 days, my price per kilowatt hour, £104 a year. Therefore, there's dozens of these. And it's not just him, I don't mean to just pick on this guy. But there are dozens of that type of comment. It makes me laugh. So it winds me up no end, but it also makes me laugh sometimes. So I thought it might be good to do like a responding to series where I could just go, this is a silly comment because of this. And I know you shouldn't really be nasty to your commenters because every comment is useful. But still, sometimes. So that's where I was going with that sort of thing. It's a little bit of cathartic therapy for me to respond to these comments, and it won't harm my main channel. That's kind of what I was thinking. Can you hear that? That's really good quality here. Anyway, so where did I get to? Tachan? I don't know how to say things. I'm very sorry. It's my first time on live chat, and I hope to be live with you all the way from Namibia. Welcome. Thank you. Current events, have you got the latest news on Boris? Try and stay away from politics, but what, has he been jailed, hopefully? Who knows? Beer has always been medicinal, very much so. Yes, this is relaxing my spasming back muscles. Ooh, Malibu. Yeah, what was it somebody else was drinking? I was talking to somebody at work who was drinking, I want to say Baby Sham, but I don't think it was Baby Sham, but it was that kind of thing where they were like, oh, we've got some Baby Sham in for the night. Oh, aren't we posh? And you're like, no. But yeah, all that's coming back apparently. Juggler's in. How are you doing tonight? Mountain Aquatics. Nice to see you. How's the pond coming along? So, I'm very pleased with it. So, I did a little bit of bitching last week about how my pond video is all tanked, but one of them's gone. It's picked up. So, it's now back to my regular, nothing like your recent taking offness. But yeah, the pond videos, I generally get a couple of thousand videos and a couple of thousand views on my videos in the first day or two. And they all I made like 3 in a row of my pond videos, and they all got like 500 in the first couple of days, and I was a bit like, ooh, I really enjoyed those videos because I'm enjoying my pond, and I think that's the main thing. As long as I'm enjoying it, it doesn't really matter. But the last one picked up and it's got like 6,000 or 7,000 views, and I'm like, oh, that's a happy coincidence. But the pond is doing well. I've been doing a lot of, not trial and error, well, I guess it is trial and error, a bit of trial and error on powering the pond and trying different combinations of solar panels and batteries and things like that to see if I can get it tuned in a little bit. That might be the next video. I've been running this with solar panels for a month now, and this is my findings. But it looks like, at the moment, I've got a 100-watt solar panel, and I'm trying a whole different bunch of batteries and how that goes. But what I knew, but I seem to have forgotten when I was doing all my maths and putting this together, is a 100-watt solar panel is what it's capable of delivering. So if it's a really sunny day and it's really bright and the sun's directly in line with the panel, yeah, you might get 100 watts. Well, you won't get 100 watts. You lose power at every connection. So you lose power through the wires and the runs of the wire, all that kind of stuff. But you can get close to it. But as soon as there's the slightest hint of a cloud, that drops significantly. And if it's a dull day, it barely draws any power at all. So it's just not charging the battery well enough. So I'm currently running a much bigger battery to see whether or not I can get through a week of grey weather. So this week's actually been quite a good test, so it can do that with this larger battery. So long-term testing might be a thing. So I talked about this a while back, of the different types of batteries. So your lithium-ion batteries are the ones that charge the fastest, but they're also the most expensive to get there. So I would have to spend loads on the battery to get a big enough battery to make the smaller solar panel work. But this panel is actually one of the cheaper bits, so I can maybe get a bigger panel or multiple panels and normal leisure battery, and that would keep that topped up better. So I'm doing lots of experimenting and trying to figure out what works best. So at the moment I've got a big normal leisure battery that was cheaper than the tiny lithium ion battery, and that seems to be handling it better for like a week's spread. But I think the sweet spot might be a little bit more in terms of power coming from the solar panels, so maybe a bigger solar panel or a doubling up on them, and a cheaper but bigger capacity battery. That seems to get me through. And I happen to have accumulated loads of these batteries over the years. I don't know why. So I've got some that ran golf carts and golf buggies. I've got extra ones that I've ran for various things. So I can swap them in and out, and I'm trying them all out. So that's what I've been doing on the pond mostly. But I've also added fish. Yay! So we went and we've added, I want to say 12 fish, but it might be 10. We've got a combination of shabunkins and types of goldfish, so lemon goldfish, Sarasa comets. I want to say Sarasa comets, but I'm immediately thinking that's not the right name for it. I've got some lovely goldfish in there which have been hugely shy, but in the last couple of days I've just started coming out and seeing them swimming around more. So, looking good. Thank you for your comment. Not a question. As long as you don't make videos in the vein of Michael's Fish Room, just attacking people with armies of trolls, please. Well, I don't want to attack anyone, and I'm certainly not going to send people after them with armies, but I also don't care about upsetting people a little bit. If you're going to come onto my videos and leave crappy comments, it's only fair I get a right of reply. I know I shouldn't, but I might. Okay, I'm miles away again. Sorry, everyone. Kaylee's here. Good evening. Yeah, so as Martha says, make me want to start to be a troll in the comments just to get roasted in the second channel. I think that's more the side that I'm leaning towards, of not being like a vicious attack of, you moron, why would you say this? It's more of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but it does give me a chance to get my point across. I mean, like I say, if you are going to say something horrible to me on my video, I'm just glad you're saying something, because that puts the engagement up. So it's fine. Is it okay not to have a pump or filter in a pond? I mean, it is. It depends what you want from your pond. If you're wanting like a super fabulous koi pond, you're going to need quite a lot of filtration. And then the curve on that is what if you just want like a nature pond where you're going to attract like newts and frogs and things like that. You might not need a filter at all. You might just want plants in there. You might want aeration. So there's various steps of depending what you want to achieve. They can go stagnant and things like that, which you don't want. So you might want to get a little bit of water movement for the bare minimum of stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you have a big enough pond, lakes don't really have filtration. They just have water changes from the rain and stuff like that. But yeah, it's always good to move water around, I find. But it's obvious that people can read one statement and automatically have 10 years worth of research in their brain. You didn't know that? I know. What was I thinking? That's my... If you really want to get me, it's when you call something out or you have a go at me about something that's literally in the video. So many times, even literally the title of the video is, I don't know, discus breeding, and the comments are, why do you never show us any discus breeding? You're like, what? That's literally the point of the video. I don't get, and I'm sure people are just doing that to wind me up because they know it winds me up. But yeah, and I don't expect everyone to watch my entirety of my video. I don't watch the entirety of everyone else's video sometimes. I might be boring to you, so you see, oh, this is a guy talking about ponds and filters. He's probably got this wrong, so I'll do this comment about it. I get that, so I'm going to allow you some leeway, but also I'm going to point out your stupidity sometimes. I think that's a fair exchange, don't you think? I believe the proper response to that particular troll is get a life. It is, but I mean, you never know what's going on with people. You might have been having a really bad day and it just makes them feel a little bit better to have a go at someone on Tinterwebs. If I can fill that particular void, fine. That particular person has a go at me quite a lot, so maybe he's having lots of bad days, but you know, it's not hurting me. It's fine, and like I say, my engagement goes up every time he comments. But get a life might be appropriate. I don't want to... I'm not on like a crusade to clean up the YouTube comments section and make everything fine. If they get what they want to get out of that, then fine. It's not hurting anyone. It's not evil. It's just stupid. Dramatic reading of snarky comments is somewhat yeah, well, that's what I would be going for. Trying to put a bit of a spin on it. I get a lot of comments, I assume trolls, about my accent. I find it funny because it's something really... yeah. I seem to have a lot of... what's the word? ASMR people that say, oh, I love your voice. And you're like, oh, thanks. It's a bit weird. I get requests to say certain phrases in my next video, and I'm like, no, this is going way over the weird line into creepy. What was it somebody said? I've created something along the lines of, I've created a playlist of all my favourite videos of yours so as I can go to sleep with you every night in my head. And I was like, thanks. I feel like I have to have a shower now. Even thinking about it. I got my hands on some Amazon zebra shrimp the other day. Any experience with these Amazon zebra shrimp? I'm going to go with no, but I'm going to type it into Google and see what we're talking about. Oh, look at this. Small face. My favourite website, Aquadiction, has the #1 response. The Amazon zebra shrimp is a fascinating and visually striking freshwater shrimp species. Unfortunately, these are rarely imported and not easy to obtain in the trade. The resilient and docile nature of this invertebrate is just one of the reasons why dwarf shrimp are popular species for aquarium enthusiasts. While they share their similar requirements to other dwarf shrimp, Amazon zebra shrimp tend to fare best in a slightly acidic, softer water. Fortunately, with proper care, these shrimp can be relatively easy to maintain and can thrive in a well... I'm just reading out someone else's website now. But basically, Aquadiction, just type in Amazon zebra shrimp, and that's the first one that comes across. I love this website. Look at this. This is my favourite thing. I love this slidey thing. So male, female. I don't know why that makes me so happy. It's fun. It's fun. Big face. I've lived with sciatica for years. I know back pain. Yeah, I don't normally get back pain. And one of my good friends, if you're watching, Tom, I'm sorry for taking the piss out of you for your back pain all these years. Yeah, so it's not back pain. It's just I've pulled something and it's annoying and a pain. Gavin says, "Hi Graham." Hello, Gavin. Spent all this week in a classroom learning how to be a lorry driver. Next week too. Replacement tanks turned up on Tuesday, sitting in the garden waiting to be set up. Ooh. What are you doing at the moment that you're going to become a lorry driver? I've often thought that would be my favourite job. I'm sure it's not as easy as it is in my head, but I really enjoy driving. If I got paid to just drive around, listening to music or listening to podcasts or whatever, I think that's my kind of ideal job. One of ours has nearly 900,000 now. Alright, stop showing off. No, I've made up for you. I'm very, very pleased that you're getting something clicked into it, obviously. So it's nice to see. And I've been enjoying your new style of video and your new direction, I guess. So if anyone who doesn't know, Mountain Aquatics, friend of the channel, used to be Mountain Goldfish, and has recently had quite the meteoric, stratospheric rise in YouTube terms. And what, is that now your business? I could be wrong and I'm remembering this wrongly, but didn't you used to be a prison guard? Or is that someone else I'm thinking of altogether? Are you doing the pond thing or the aquatics thing full time now? But anyway, yeah, good luck to you. Gavin says, "My partner Sally says you look like John Travolta." I'm on the fence about that. Do you know what? She isn't the first person to say that. I'm surprised she's saying that now. Unless John Travolta's had a horrific accident. But in my youth, I used to get that every now and again. I never saw it myself. But I don't know. Maybe we've got like an eyebrow the same or something. I use shade cloths during the fort. I don't know what you're talking about now. Is that ponds and how to keep them? Yes. So if you don't want to use UV and things like that in your ponds in direct sunlight, it's going to get green at some point. And the only way to combat that is to build some kind of shade, have shade, or lots of floating plants, lilies and all that kind of stuff. Just providing some shade, and they are also soaking up, gone all Glaswegian, soaking up all those extra nutrients and out-competing the algae. You'll never get exactly what the rate. This must be the solar panels. Indeed, yeah, it's a capable of 100 watts. I'm going to give you 92. In reality, it might be 75. Hopefully the quiz is on stopping distances and load limits. No, sorry. I mean, there are a few regular viewers who I've tried to cater for. So every now and again I throw in a shark question. There might even be a frisbee golf question. I might be giving away too much this week. But I can tell you, there ain't no questions about stopping distances. Isn't lithium risky? I don't think so. It's... If anything, they appear or they claim to be safer. I think any battery has the ability to expand and all that kind of stuff, so I guess lithium's that, but they're more sealed, so there's no liquid in them or anything like that. I guess there's a drop risk, that kind of thing, but they're just way more expensive because they charge so much quicker and they cycle so much deeper. So again, that's one of the compromises you have to make, is when you're working out your return on investment, your normal leisure battery can only do maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 on a good 1,000 cycles, which a cycle is being fully charged down to, it's not zero, so they all change again. So it might be fully charged to 50% charged and then back to fully charged to 50%. They'll do that 2,000 times. Whereas a lithium one will do it 10,000 times. But a good lead acid deep cycle one might do 5,000 times and let you go down to 20% charge before you get full again. And again, that's when you have to work out what's going on with your solar panels. How much is it topping it up during the day? Because it's mind-boggling when you go into it a little bit. I stick to an extension lead. It's much easier. I've got solar panels in my house. I don't know why I'm just gone with that. It's more about the experiment. So I have a kind of harebrained thought in the back of my head that I might repurpose some old battery packs, whether it's like ex-lithium from EV cars that are going end of life, or I get a battery bank of, because I work in IT, we've got lots of UPSs and things like that, so when we decommission a data center, I might be able to grab tons of batteries, stick them under my house, grab a bunch of solar panels, stick them on the top of my house, and run my entire fish room. Because that's a little bit of a bone of contention in our household, is how much this hobby is costing me in electricity and things like that. So if I could bring that down, that might be a win-win for everyone. So this is really my first step into see how viable it might be. And if I'm completely honest, I'm a way away from it being completely viable, but it might just make more sense to add more solar panels to my existing deployment on the house, for instance, than trying to get a whole new separate one. I don't know. That's what we're thinking about anyway. Heat is a concern with lithium. I mean, it is and it isn't. They all are rated for various temperatures, and your lead acid batteries don't like heat, and sometimes it's to do with performance. So it might reduce your capacity, or it might reduce your recharge capacity or speed. It might reduce your overall volume that you can store in the battery, and sometimes it might be an expansion thing. So if it gets too hot, it cuts out and it doesn't work properly. An efficiency question, that's what I was trying to say. Right. Bear with me, everyone, while I try and catch up a little bit. So we're at 9:30. I recognise this song. Half an hour to go before we do the quiz. Comets, Sarasa are the white and red comets. Yes, I think so. London Shabunkin, they were just called Shabunkins. The Shabunkins are what I just call like mini kois, so I'm not sure if I don't know all that much about them. Pondfish is not my forte, and it was very much my good lady wife that picked them. So we've got a couple of lemons, a couple of comets, a couple of skeleton fish, which I think are the spunkiny ones that look more like your ghost carp type ones. Yeah, a whole bunch of them. We get to 120 Fahrenheit, 49 degrees. That's stupid. You live in a stupid place with stupid temperatures. I mean, we got to 40 degrees here last year, and I was thinking, I might just call quits to life. I don't need to live in this heat. No, this is too much. I can't imagine what another 9 degrees on top of that would do. Nabokov's near Vegas on a road trip. I parked the car in the sun for 10 minutes. All the fluids were boiling and it almost went very badly. Yes, I actually got married in Vegas, and all their family did road trips to like Death Valley and things like that, where they were getting the 50-degree heat. 50 centigrade in like proper units of measurement. I did sand in one of the ponds for the fancy goldfish. Safe to say I took it out though. Yeah, my wife was insistent on putting sand in our pond, and I just really wasn't having it at all. Fish Fam link. Do not forget to give a thumbs up if you are enjoying the stream. So, we'll do the usual admin that we have to do. That if you are watching this, admittance is a like. That's all you have to do. A subscribe would be even better. If you want to join, there are benefits to joining the channel. You get, as a hero member, you get 10% off anything at aquariumadventures.co.uk. As a normal member, you get the warm fuzzy feeling inside knowing you're supporting a small creator and helping them make videos. I realise I haven't made any videos this week. I've just had a very busy / lazy week. But just a like, even a dislike on your way out, going, what's this guy all on about? I'm off. Bye. It all helps. I'm giving up my Friday night to give you all this amazing content. So the least you can do is give me a like. No, just a wee like as you come in. That's all we ask. But if you do want to, we've got a Discord server as well. If you have any fishy questions through the week, you just want to share some of your goings on, whether it's pictures of your fish, your tanks, it might be questions about health, it might be, who knows, just go over to Discord. Lots of really helpful, friendly people in there. It's not like the toxic Facebook groups that you sometimes get. And if it is, just send me a message and I will do something about it. But yeah, it's very, very helpful, very easygoing, nice place to ask questions and share things. Phil's in. Good evening, Phil. How are you doing? Hope you're well. I run my pond on solar panels, and I find the panels work best when angled gently to the sun rather than directly facing. I think it means they capture a longer time of high charge, but not sure. Yeah, I haven't really experimented with the angles and stuff yet. I'm just going to chuck the solar panel on the roof a minute. Yeah, that'll do it. And it gets it for most of the day where it is. But yeah, I had all these highfalutin plans that I was going to build some kind of robotic arm that would move it as the sun moved. We might not do that, but you know. I go shorts and t-shirts once it gets to 13 degrees outside. At 40 I'd have to go naked. Oh, nobody needs that in their mind. Don't think about that. A fish will move the water if you have enough in there or strong enough swimmers. Maybe. Oh, we've got a question. How is the Death Star doing behind you? Do you mean this? So that's just my red accent light that runs behind these. These aquariums were doing really well actually, so you're not going to be able to see it because I've got the wrong lens on this camera. But plant growth in this aquarium is going fantastic, and this is an example of a tank that, while I did use cycled media, there's not a lot of cycled media in that tank, in the filter. It's got one of those Fluval U2 internal filters, but I stocked it fairly heavily with plants, and the plants have just gone so I think I mentioned in the last couple of weeks, this is a tank I'm doing really well with Java Fern in, whereas I've never really done well with Java Fern. It's always, if it's in a discus tank, it's just melted and died off, but in most of my other tanks it just kind of exists, doesn't really grow or anything. But I've got baby ferns sprouting up everywhere, it's going mental. And it's keeping the water quality in great check, so yeah, it's doing really well. This one's doing fine. This is my bio rock experiment tank. It's got the jade shrimp in it. It's fine. The water quality's always been fine, but it's only got like 6 shrimp in there, so it's never going to be that bad. But they haven't like taken off in a mad population run or anything like that. But they could all be male or all be female. I don't know. But they seem happy enough. Sorry, I'm just listening to the music now. Walter Travolta. Passing wind gets a young Simon Callow from me. Oh. I think I'd rather be John Travolta than Simon Callow, but you know. Hans, with the question of the... I'm surprised it's taken 43 minutes for someone to ask that question. Hans asks, any update on Megatank? If I'm completely honest, no. I made some bold claims last weekend that I was going to fill it on Sunday. I didn't. I'm sorry. It got away from... The weekend got away from me. I did some prep work on it. I've done a little bit more during the week. I've decided, rather than doing test fills and the inevitable failures that will come along, then doing fixes, I've fiberglassed it. I've siliconed it. I've fiberglassed it. I have liquid rubbered it. So I've given it as much as I can give it, and I've done that through the week. I'm trying to avoid saying I've been a bit lazy, but I've been a bit lazy. I made the video about Megatank having its problems, saying, do you know what, I'm feeling quite magnanimous about this. I'm not upset and angry and stuff like that. I've just accepted a DIY tank, and my skills means it's going to leak every now and again, and I'll have to fix it, and that was fine. But I had a busy weekend last weekend. I had a really busy week at work this week, and it dropped off the priority list. All the fish are fine. They're all in different tanks, and they're all happy enough. But it got to the point where I was just like, I just can't be bothered with this. So I've done all the fixing that I need to do. Tomorrow will probably be fill day. So whether or not I can be bothered to live stream it or anything like that, I don't know. But tomorrow will be fill day. We'll see what we get on. See how we get on there. But I've done lots of other work. So I've washed about 11,000 megatons of sand to put back in there. I've rescaped. I've added some more bogwood structures in there, so I think I make it look a little bit nicer. I've also bought, stupidly, so the guy who gave me the snake head and I got the giant gourami from and sold the tilapia to, he had some fake plastic plants. He was like, oh, I've got these plants, do you want these? They're 3 foot tall, they're fake, because the silver dollars and everything just ate all the plants, the real plants that I put in there. Oh, do you want these? And I was like, no, I've got loads of these. Can I find them? Can I hell? So I bought a load off of AliExpress and sent them to my old house. So that was useful. Fake plants, bloody cheap, bloody expensive these days for decent looking ones. So we might be doing a few things with there to try and make it look a little bit nicer. But yeah, it's just, we'll see how we get on. Mountain Aquatics, we're just as surprised as you. It's a company with my mate, but I'm still in the prison. So it was you in the prison, yes. So keep the train going. If you get a chance, go and check out Mountain Aquatics channel. The last few videos about have been about refurbishing ponds and things like that. So interesting. Just go and give them a watch. Nutrients is interesting regarding algae. I need to research that. Pond soils, I think, contain an obscene... Oh, they do, yes. Aquatic soil. You know, you can buy aquatic soil from a garden centre and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. It's just like the most overly fertilised compost. It's just more of a clay compost, so it doesn't float away quite so much. And especially mature ponds, where they've had lots and lots of debris has settled on the bottom and started to decay. Those nutrients are kind of trapped in by being almost the substrate, and then something stirs it up and you get this bloom of nutrients. Yeah, but a lot of my knowledge of ponds is fit it on the back of a fag packet. Aquarium Daily, good evening. Are you coming to join us for the quiz? The premier quiz on the UK fish keeping scene. I only say that because Aquarium Daily does a live stream on a Saturday where they also run a quiz. Do you have any new fish in your pond or more baby fish? Only the new fish that I've added, so just some goldfish basically. Oh God, I'm miles behind. I'm so sorry everyone, I'm terrible at this. Ah, there you go. For any questions, please use the word question in your question. It helps me out, it does indeed. So we're 10 minutes away from the quiz, so I'm going to publish the quiz because I realised I forgot to do that earlier. The quiz is now published. I can play. I want to host. And I will put the link into the description. So for those of you who are new, the quiz is basically, as self-explanatory, it's a quiz. So you join, you click that link, you join in the quiz, you play over there, you don't answer the questions on the comments here. Questions are awarded. No, they're not. Prizes are. No, they're not. Points are awarded for correct answers, and the quicker you answer correctly, the more points you get. And then at the end of 20 questions, whoever's got the most points wins prizes. Hooray! London shamunkins are shorter tailed than the common ones. Ah, right, okay then. No way are they mini. Yeah, well, in a way of they're not just gold or red and white. To the uneducated like me, they're mini koi. Only Oscars, hello, how are you? I've obviously skipped over a lot of things. Drug deals, hookers, debauchery, you name it. You'll see it when the sun goes down in Vegas. Goldwater Aquatics, nice to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're going to play the quiz tonight. We've got about 9 minutes to go before the quiz kicks off. We have a new feature tonight. We've got background music for the quiz. I spent all of 10 minutes working that out. I've got a Java fern in a terrarium. It seems okay. Ah, very good. Yeah, Java ferns for me, they've always been die instantly. I think it's a heat thing because I've kept them in discus tanks and it just hasn't worked. Or stay exactly the same for 10 years and never grow but never die off. These ones just gone, it's going mad. The Fish Room says good morning. Good morning yourself. I'm skipping a load of questions here, or a load of comments here, because I'm trying to get down to near real time. So that means you have to listen to me go, make stupid noises until I've caught up and found something to talk about. Ponds are just their own weird hobby. Yeah, I think I've noticed some pond people coming in to my pond videos. Like I said, my pond videos, I was real disappointed that they didn't do very well at all. But they got a few views, and it's clearly from the pond community to come and tell me off for doing it wrong. So I've been like, wrist slap. That's not how you build a bog filter. You haven't put a check valve in. That's never going to work. So I'm like, I like it. Shut up. The answer to the first question is the Earth. How do you all know what the first questions are? I don't understand. Is this cheating? Are we cheating? Is that what's going on? How can you see the questions? I can't even see the question. I wrote the questions. I always thought there was two different genetic lines of shubs. I don't know, I just like saying the word shabunkin, if I'm completely honest. Shabunkin. I feel like saying Shaba after it, but I don't know why. There are a few breeds: Japanese, Bristol, American, London, and I think the generic ones are more Japanese style. I must say, I've never paid that much attention to it. My experience is going into a pet shop and going, a vat labelled Shabunkin. I did not even know there was more than one variation. I don't even look at goldfish anymore because I'm on a ban. My partner says they aren't healthy enough. Yeah, I do worry about some of the fancy goldfish. I both like and don't like, because they are cool, they look great, but there's lots of health problems. I think you've been one of the main people talking about the health problems of goldfish. They're just almost so deformed that you're bound to have some kind of issue going on there. But your generic goldfish, your comets and things like that, I know there are people that will get carried away by that, but I think they're really bright, really colourful. Yeah, I love them. Question: why does Prince William look like every blonde-headed white boy with a slightly wavy hair? Prince William's bald. And he's not blonde either. Do you mean Harry? He's the ginger. Oh, neither. What are you on about? We are using our squinty glasses and the image. What image? I need to play this one week. Someone else start doing this and then I can play. So, we're a couple of minutes away, 5 minutes to go, and then we'll kick off the quiz. If you have just joined us, I will post the link again into the chat if you want to play the quiz. True Japanese goldfish are best. Top view ranchu, that's pleasing to say. Top view ranchu are lovely and so much more healthy. Jikin are ones I'd love. I mean, yeah, I do like. I don't know. I get showing fish to me. Showfish, whether they be goldfish or discus and stuff like that, I can appreciate them because you can tell. It's lovely. What I struggle with is articulating exactly why it is. I think I've got an eye that can see something that's good quality or bad quality, but I could never be a judge because I can't see, it's because the ratio to tail and dorsal fit is this, that. It's nice and not nice. That's kind of my level of I'm not really aficionado, I guess is what I'm trying to say. William didn't used to be bald. He also didn't used to be blonde. But yeah, no, not most people in the UK don't look like Prince William, I don't think. Who knows? Who knows? Sorry, bear with me. My daughter is messaging me wanting more screen time. It's 10 o'clock, bloody hell. Sorry, we're initiated a strict screen time policy in here at Casa Care. And all it means is the kids just start moaning 10 minutes before the screen time runs out. Anyway, we're getting close to the hour. Give a couple of minutes. We've got 15 players so far if I go to small face. If you want to play, this is your final call for the quiz. Final call. Let me just rearrange everything so you can see it properly. Get my stupid face out of the way. Oh, that's where we decided it was best there, didn't we? So we've got 15 players. Again, this is the link if you want to play. You've got a couple of minutes while I blather on with my nonsense for a few minutes. Shadow's in. He's in. Well done, Scott. You made it. So, what do points make? Points make prizes. Prizes that might be a 20% discount to aquariumadventures.co.uk. If you are some big time YouTuber aquatic thing that fancies sponsoring the quiz, so Fluval for instance, we're talking about sponsoring the quiz with some fish food and things like that, or if you want, let me know. We can offer other prizes. Who knows? We're up to 17 players. And I think we'll start it off. Welcome everyone to the Aquarium Adventures Friday night live stream quiz. We have 20 questions of varying aquaticness. Some are even non-aquatic. But answer the questions as fast as you can, and if it's correct and you answer it quickly, you get more points, and whoever gets more points at the end of the thing gets more prizes. So, without further ado, new feature, quiz music. Hopefully you can hear that. Let me know if you can hear the quiz music. Let me know if it's too loud and I'll turn it down. But we will click start. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, pressed the wrong button. Go! Simple question to start. How many oceans are there? Are there 2, 5, 7 or 9? There is an argument that there's 1. But we're going for the more than one answer. Only Oscars? Wasn't there another Graham Kerr a long time ago? Maybe I could guess. The Galloping Gourmet, who's a TV chef. It's not me. There are 5. Ed Hedrick is the inventor of which sport/game? Is it disc golf, swing ball, shuffleboard, or 10-pin bowling? I think I might have sold the farm on this one. We're moving on to my favourite beer for the evening. Northern Monk's Heathen. This one's just for you, Silver Creek. It's disc golf, or frisbee golf as I like to call it. YouTube channel Aquarium Co-op currently has how many videos? Is Is it A, 420, B, 690, C, 1024, or D, 968? I think my answer might be one out from this because I wrote this question earlier today and then noticed they'd released another video, so I apologise. Disc golf is like golf but with a frisbee, basically. Why did New York look like this week? A. They forgot to rinse their driftwood. B. Solar flares. C. Californian wildfires. Or D. Canadian wildfires. Why did New York look like this week? We've got Lou taking an early lead ahead of Juggler's daughter. Is that your attempt to disguise yourself, Juggler? What is the estimated global shark population? Is it 100 million, 500 million, 10 million, or 50 million? What is the estimated, according to the website I looked at, global shark population? Background music, is it working? Can you hear it? Do you care? It is 100 million. First non-fishy question, I guess, maybe? No. Just frisbee golf, I guess. Manchester City take on which team in the Champions League this weekend? Champions League final, I should have said. Is it Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, or Real Madrid? Manchester City take on which team in the Champions League final this weekend? Tomorrow, to be specific. It's Inter Milan. What is the opening line to Bohemian Rhapsody? Is it Mama just killed a man? Anyway the wind blows? Is this the real life? Or I'm just a poor boy? And no, I'm not going to sing them. Juggler's daughter making a stonking bid for an early lead at question 7. It is this the real life? Question number 8. Which country is this? Is it Norway, Sweden, Philippines, or Japan? Norway, Sweden, I'm sorry, hands, I'll stop doing that now. Sweden, Philippines, or Japan? It is Japan. In F9 Fast Saga, that's meant to say, not Sage, which ridiculous thing did they not have in the plot? A. A car driving off a cliff caught by a magnetic stealth fighter. B. Vin Diesel being the same height as John Cena. C. Driving in space. Or D. Stopping a plague with a car. For those of you who were here last weekend after the stream, I watched this film and did a text thing along with it of all the ridiculousness. They didn't stop a plague with a car. That was one of the few things, and that wasn't even the most ridiculous. Question 10. What kills more people per annum? A pufferfish, not a pufferfish, pufferfish in general, sharks, jellyfish, or stonefish? What kills more people per annum? It's the stonefish. What band used this image for an album cover? Guns N' Roses, Foo Fighters, Arctic Monkeys, or AC/DC? And you might be thinking, oh, he's going on about the Arctic Monkeys a lot tonight. Hint, it's not the Arctic Monkeys. Just over the halfway stage, David is taking the lead. A few points ahead of Lou, who again is a few points ahead of Juggler's Daughter. And the image was indeed the Foo Fighters. Question 12. What is the real name of the Flash in the DC universe? Is it Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Alan Barry, or Barry Allen? What is the real name of the Flash? Definitely A, says Nabokov. It is Barry Allen. Approximately how many islands does the Pacific Ocean have? See, vaguely aquatic. 2,000, 12,000, 120,000 or 30,000? Approximately how many islands does the Pacific Ocean have? A, B, C or D. A is 2,000, B is 12,000, C is 120,000 or D 30,000. Juggler's Daughter making another play for the lead again. It's tight at the top, people. Sorry, I missed the answer. I can't remember. So how fast are human nerve impulses? 80 miles per hour, 490 miles per hour, 190 miles per hour or 730 miles per hour? How fast are human nerve impulses? So, when you decide to wiggle your toes, how quickly does the message go through your nerves from your brain to your toes? The answer is 190 miles an hour. Some people say 200 miles, some people say 180. Lamniforms are a type of what? Catfish, shark, squid, or a worm? Lamniforms. Although it's probably Latin, it's lamniformese or something like that, who knows. That word are a type of what? Catfish, shark, squid or worm? They are a type of shark. What has more taste buds? Catfish, a human, a cow, or snakes? I know there's a cow in the picture. That isn't a hint, but it might be, who knows? Pardon me. What has more taste buds? Well, it's obviously the catfish, which has nearly 29,000 taste buds, many thousands more than any other thing on Earth. How many actors have played James Bond on film? This is question 17. Is it 3? Is it 7? Is it 11? Is it 14? How many actors have played James Bond? Who knows? It is 7. If you can name them all, I'll give you a bonus point. Who's this? Who's this a picture of? Is it Steven Seagal? Is it Bruce Lee? Is it Jean-Claude Van Damme? Or is it Chuck Norris? Is this a trick question? I did include David Niven, Juggler. So David's in the lead, 40 points over Juggler's Daughter, who is another 30 above Martin. Of course it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. What is the most common fish genus on Earth? Well, in water. Is it Cyclothone, Carassius, Rivulus, or Foxinus? I don't know why I laughed at Foxiness. It is Cyclothone. Last question. What is the most watched sport in the world? Is it football, cricket, basketball, or hockey? What is the most watched sport in the world? Martin fell for the reverse Jean-Claude Van Damme. One day I'll put in a Jean-Claude Van Damme question. It won't be Jean-Claude Van Damme. The answer is football. Half the world's population watches football. 3.5 billion people. Congratulations, everyone. David, you are the winner this week. You've taken down Juggler's Daughter. 312 points. That's something special. We used to celebrate when people got over 200 points. 312 points. Well done. Juggler's Daughter on 268. Martin on 230. It's Showtime on 221. Lou 215. Anything over 200 points is a potentially winning score. So well done to you, top 5. Catfish on 197. Tommy Four Fingers on 195. You're getting closer and closer. Mountain Aquatics on 182. Not a Robot on 180. I still know nothing on 179. Still no Coffee Nabo 173. Not only Oscars 172. Look how close that is. Then bringing up the rear. Sorry guys. Gas Musk 151, Brian 131, and Aquarium Daily at 125, and Takhand, who obviously couldn't get it to work, and I apologise for that. But well done everyone for playing. Thank you. You've been amazing. Give yourselves a pat on the back. David, if you want to get in touch, I'll send you a code just for you for a 20% discount on anything off aquariumadventures.co.uk. Don't know why I did that. But now we move on to my favourite part of the evening, which is the insights, and we see what everyone answered. How many oceans are there? Look at all those people that got that wrong. I thought that was an easy question for everyone. Okay, we'll move on. Ed Hedrick is the inventor of which sport? So the only one I'm looking at here is Tommy Four Fingers to make sure he got that, and he did get that right. You were not fastest though. YouTube channel Aquarium Co-op currently has how many videos? 1, 2, 3. Only 4 of you got that one right. I thought a few more people would get that one right. Why did New York look like this? Yeah, about 50-50. I thought the Americans would have got that one. What is the estimated global shark population? Wow. Did Nabokov get this one? Oh dear. You got the shark question wrong. Man City take on which team in the Champions League this weekend? I'll give the Americans a pass on that one because they just refuse to acknowledge football. What is the opening line to Bohemian Rhapsody? Wow, only a few, just under half the people got that one right. Which country is it? It's Japan. Oh, good number of people got that one right. Well done, everyone. And F9, Fast Saga, not Sage. Which ridiculous thing did they not have in the plot? 1, 2. I mean, I know this is difficult because the entire movie from start to finish is just... It's almost unwatchable. It's so ridiculous, but also it's so watchable because it's so ridiculous. At one point, they turn up in Edinburgh, with all their American cars, and you're like, well, how did you get that there? And I know the streets in Edinburgh are not wide enough for you to drive that car down that street. But that's not the ridiculous thing. So a man drives a car off a cliff and gets caught by a stealth bomber with big magnets, and it takes away to safety. Another man drives a car off the same cliff but lands on like a rope bridge and quickly spins the wheel to wrap the rope bridge handle around the wheel so he can then use that rope bridge to swing from one mountain to another mountain and then unwrap the wheel and drive away. And that's not the most ridiculous thing. They strap a rocket to a car and strap the car to a plane and drive the car into space to crash it into a satellite. And they're like, yeah, this is a thing. And that's not the most ridiculous thing. I had to watch it several times. I was just like, no, this can't be. No. And I'm going to have to go and watch the next one as well, because each one gets more and more ridiculous. There can't be many more things that are more ridiculous. Anyway, what kills more people per annum? It is, of course, the stonefish. What band uses this image? It was the Foo Fighters. A few of you got it. The real name of the Flash. Only a couple of people got that one wrong. I hope you didn't say Bruce Banner. That wasn't even an option. Approximately how many islands does the Pacific Ocean have? That's one of those ones. Pardon me. How fast are human nerve impulses? Yes, again, if you know, you know. Lamniforms are a type of what? Is that a second shark question? Got wrong by a resident shark expert. What has most taste buds? The catfish by a long shot, and I'm glad that catfish got that one right correctly and the fastest. It's like tens of thousands more than anything else on Earth is the catfish. So there you go, now you know. How many actors have played James Bond in film? Has anybody named them? Have we got any of them? I can't see them, but I can't remember either, so I'm going to go for Sean Connery, George Lazenby, David Niven, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Daniel Craig. I'm sure I'm missing one. Pierce Brosnan. That's it, isn't it? Who is this? I can't believe anybody got that one wrong. It was obviously Jean-Claude Van Damme. Every week we will have a Jean-Claude Van Damme question. I've now forgotten why we've talked about Jean-Claude Van Damme so often on this podcast. It's not a podcast. Show. It's not a show. Live stream. I don't know why we talk about Jean-Claude Van Damme so much, but it's now a tradition and we will do it forevermore. The most common fish genus, well, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. The most watched sport in the world. I thought I might throw a few people off on that one, but they were basically in order the top four sports. Watched football, cricket, basketball and hockey, I think it was, something like that. So, if you got some questions right, especially if you got over 200 points, congratulations, give yourself a pat on the back. Big face. Nabo thought all the sharks were dead. Sorry. Pacific, Atlantic, Arctic, Indian. Fine, it's 5. It is 5. So technically it's 1, but yeah, we'll say it's 5. Graham, did you know that disc golf, frisbee golf, for over the past decade has been the fastest growing sport worldwide? I did not know that, but I have noticed some disc golf places popping up around here. Can we have a fish week? Not just sharks. I need more fish questions. I feel like I've now asked, we've been doing this for months, and I think I've asked all the fish questions I can possibly think of. So I implore you, join the Discord server, send me some messages with some fish questions. Give me like 4 or 5 options so as I can pick one. If enough people get it done, then that person isn't then going to immediately win the quiz. But yeah, send me some questions. I need help now. The hardest is not hard, but the amount of time it takes me to prepare for this live stream nowadays, you'd think it's dead easy coming up with these questions, and it is really, but it's so time consuming. I spend hours doing this, so I need help. Right, sorry, I'm going to catch up. The lamniforms, from the Greek word lamna, fish of prey, are an order of sharks commonly known as mackerel sharks. They are indeed. It was clearly Bruce Lee. It was not clearly Bruce Lee. Two is appalling, 3 is classic, 4 picks up the story back, and it's all a bit chaotic. I'm assuming we're talking Fast and the Furious. The thing that gets me about Fast and the Furious, there's now 10 Fast and the Furious films, and you'd think they'd go Fast and the Furious, Fast and the Furious 2, Fast and the Furious 3. In fact, I'm going to have to look this up because it's so ridiculous. And I found that they equally infuriate and delight me for different reasons for each one. So, let's see. I do a little face. Bear with me. I have things to say about the Fast and the Furious. So, first one, The Fast and the Furious. Second one, Too Fast, Too Furious. Okay. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift is 3. 4, Fast and Furious. Now, note here the use of the ampersand. Fast, ampersand, Furious. Note, in the first film, the word and. The Fast and the Furious. So we've gone from The Fast and the Furious to Fast, ampersand, Furious. Next, we've got Fast 5. Now, when I was a kid, a Fast 5, we probably can't talk about on this family-centred podcast. Fast and Furious 6. So, Fast and Furious, Fast ampersand Furious, another film, Fast ampersand Furious 6. Furious 7. Not even Fast anymore, just Furious. The Fate of the Furious for number 8. And I think in the posters they had F8. The Fate, F8 of the Furious. A slight shift to the left, Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. Then with 9, F9, just F9. The Fast Saga. What is with the naming convention here? These are ridiculous. So F9, so you think what they're going to come up with? Fast X. We're into Roman numerals now. Who is in charge of naming these films? And it's gone from number 1. Oh, this is a film about a rookie cop. He's going to go undercover with some street racing criminals. To what the? Going to drive an articulated lorry down a mountain, roll it over with such timing that I can get hit with a nuclear missile, yet still jump out of the window and be okay. But I'm there going, am I going to watch the next one? You're damn right I'm going to watch the next one. And I'm going to go, what? What is going on? I can't think of any other movie franchise that's just so ridiculous, yet so serious, yet so ridiculous. Is it genre defining? Is it groundbreaking? Is it mental? What's going on? Oh, I don't know. I saw a JCVD question. Was he in Bloodsport? He was in Bloodsport, yes. I'm still waiting for my t-shirt for my win a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You're either making that up or I've completely forgotten about it. Didn't you give it to someone else? I can't remember. Send me a message. Once I've come down off this Fast and Furious high, I'll sort that out. I sent you one a while back which hasn't been seen about goldfish. Oh, okay. Yeah, send me questions. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit questions, I need a question bank to pick. We'll do a purely fishy quiz if you want. But I think, I don't know. I like to give a few non-fishy questions just to give everyone a bit of a chance. You don't have to be a uber geek to play along. Basically, that's where I've gone. That's where I'm going for. I've said I'll get you questions, and I will. I promise. Good. So you're saying if I send you 200 fish questions, I can't win the next week's quiz? No, that's exactly what I want. 200 fish questions, so I can choose 2 and put them in the quiz, and then take the rest from other people, and then nobody gets an advantage. You need to ask some of the questions for the 1% quiz. That's the Arctic Monkeys finished, by the way. What time are we at? 10:30, yeah. Of more chance with them than the fishy questions. Technically, there's already 10 of them because of the spin-off. But, yeah, I suppose. I quite enjoyed the spin-off. I thought that was quite good. They went Roman numerals to add some classy letters. I just don't get it. Some of the sometimes they spell the words that are numbers. Sometimes they put the number. Sometimes use Roman. What? At this point, it can only be a conscious choice to think, what would be most different from the last one? I'm surprised they don't use like a foreign language, like just hieroglyphics or something like that. It's going to come full circle and be the Triple X origin story. Maybe. Because that would fit. Yeah. All this time, Dom is all about family. I'm just going to go over here and pretend to be like an extreme sports guy, secret agent type dude for a bit. Then I'm about family. I hate it and love it. It's quite amazing to me how that franchise works. How's it worked? How's that so popular? They're still getting stuff done. Oh, that hurt my back. Fast X, Furious XX, and then just XXX, Triple X. Rinsing as much money out of people. Well, it is, but I think they've got to the point where they're just like, right, what's impossible? What couldn't we do? So I bet you when they were on like Fast 7 or something like that, was that the one where they drove a tank into a submarine that blew up a tanker? I've lost count of which one's which now, but so they're sitting in that one going, right, okay, we've used cars to blow up a submarine. What's impossible at this point? And someone at the back's going, well, obviously you can't drive cars in space. And they've gone, that's what we're going to have in number 9. So what's going to be in 10? Are they going to like have a crossover with Star Trek? They're going to start like Beam Me Up Scotty and move cars between universes? A Matrix tie-in? Who's not going to watch that? Oh, I don't know. The Transporter series. Oh, yeah, well, that's like, as much as I love Jason Statham, the Transporter series is Fast and the Furious has taken some sleeping pills. I mean, there's only one bit where he just does a flip with a car and knocks off something. Like, I think he knocks off a bomb attached to his car. If that was Fast and the Furious, they would knock off a bomb, land on a fighter jet, drive it into a submarine, which would spawn a nuclear missile, which would wipe out the plague. Tell me that's not a more plausible script for any of the last 5 Fast and Furious movies. James Bond is the same? No, it isn't. Star Wars is at least science fiction, if nothing else. With a science fiction premise, you can do what you want, really. Fast and the Furious, that's meant to be real life. Fast X gives a nod to all the events in past films and how it's so ridiculous and that was one of the things that I did like about Fast 9 was one of the characters kept going on about, I think I might be invincible, maybe I'm an angel. Have you seen him? Remember when we drove into that submarine and didn't die? I think in Fast X he's going to become faster than the internet and drive a fax machine through the cyberverse. that would be more believable. Oh dear. Paul McCarthy has joined us. Good evening, Paul. How are you? Pardon me. I just asked ChatGPT for 200 fish questions. You can even get it to, if you do that and say, I want 200 fish questions, and then I want 4 possible answers and identify the right answer, put it in an Excel format, it'll do all that for you. It's really good. I have now started using ChatGPT for just about everything in my daily life. Paul Jeffries says, good evening, everyone. Fast and Furious X Star Trek. Yeah, maybe the X is just like a crossover between something else. 10's going to be Inner Space. Do you remember that? I do. I remember. That was Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan, where he was shrunk down and injected into the bloodstream of. Yeah, that was. I remember that film. That was a good film. That one. Vin Diesel is a Klingon. I mean, Vin Diesel takes a lot of crap off people, but I'm kind of on the fence as to whether he deserves it or not. He did a really touching interview on, I think it was Jonathan Ross or something like that, where he was talking about. So obviously, Paul Walker was one of the actors in the Fast and Furious series that died, and he did a really touching story about. I mean, it was nonsense as well. It was about, oh yeah, I was about to have a kid. Paul Walker came and said, oh, don't stay in the corridor, go in and see your kid. And all the tough guys in New York were telling him not to go in and see his kid. Blah, 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 blah. He went in and saw his kid and he thought it was great. And then Paul Walker died. And now all he can think about is his friend Paul Walker. And he's had a recent kid where he's named it Pauline because he started accidentally writing Paul because that was all he could think about. But he did it in quite I know he's an actor, he could be acting, but I don't think he's that good an actor, but he did it in quite a heartfelt way, which I thought was, oh, Vin Diesel's not a twat, or as much of a twat as everyone makes out. I'm currently spamming this. See, don't post your questions publicly, because then people will know your questions. So send me them on DM or something like that. ChatGPT is awful. I asked it to help me. So it's much like anything else. You need to learn how to ask it the right question. That's how you get the best value out of it. So, a group of fish of the same species are called fish. 2 or more species are called fishies. Indeed. So, 1 fish is a fish. 2 fish of the same species are still fish. 2 fish of different species are fishies. Question: Riddick movies? Yeah, nothing against it. I both like and dislike Vin Diesel. I can't remember what the film was now. There was a film where he was like a DEA agent or something like that. I think it might have been one of the first films I saw him in after like Riddick and things like that. And when Fast and the Furious was a bit like, what's this nonsense about stealing DVD players, or is it drugs, or is it what? Oh, Fast and Furious, what? And then there was all the talk of Vin Diesel falling out with The Rock, and Vin Diesel falling out with Jason Statham, and Vin Diesel falling out with everyone. But I quite enjoy most of the movies that he's in. I think he's got one of the greatest gigs in the world, that he's in the Guardians of the Galaxy in the Marvel Universe, delivering one line. I am Groot. That's literally all he has to say. Lou thinks he's beautiful. Are we still talking about Vin Diesel? I suppose he's a handsome looking bald man. He really fits in the roles that he's played. I think that's what we're trying to say. Anyway, right, we're at 22:38 by my watch. Fancy watch. If you have any more questions, and I mean, they don't have to be fish related, they can be anything related. If you want to talk about anything at all, put it in the chat. If you have a question, type the word question in your question, and I will see your question a little bit better. For instance, as Coro has said, question: what is your tier list of apocalypse movies? Mad Max, Tank Girl, Waterworld, Hell Goes to Frogtown, Turbo Kid, that sort of thing. Oh, that's a question that deserves a little bit of thought, I think. So, Mad Max. Let's go through them. Mad Max, I really quite enjoyed when I was younger, but there was something about them I didn't get and didn't like. And with the recent reboot with what's his face, Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy, again enjoyed it, but there was just something about it I didn't like. I don't like, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Tank Girl, I was a fan when I was younger. Yeah. Waterworld, I thought that was a better film than everyone gave it credit for. I do like a dystopian thing, so things like The Walking Dead and your zombie movies and all that kind of stuff. Your what's the one with Katniss and all that? I immediately forget everything I ever knew. Catching Fire with the phoenix and the bow and arrow. The other one about was it Altered Carbon, the Blade Runner ones. Yeah, I'd need to really sit down and go through a list, because some of them I like as films, and then you realise, oh yeah, that is about like an apocalypse or a dystopian future type thing. And some of them you're just like, yeah, it's just bad science fiction. Hunger Games, that's the ones, yes. I think it helps if I've read the book about it. I mean, would you class Apocalypse Now as an apocalypse movie because it's got the word apocalypse in the title? Because that was a good film. Lots of love for Altered Carbon. Yeah, there's loads of good films, but I've now had like 4 beers, so I'm never going to be able to remember them all. 5. My back's feeling much better now, everyone. Thank you for asking. I watched a series this week that I would definitely recommend. So Ted Lasso, I've been on about for a few weeks. Even if you don't like football, that's a good watch. But that's finished now. So I watched a series with David Tennant, where he's a vicar and he ends up taking in like a thumb drive for a troubled member of his congregation, and it ends up having naughty stuff on it, very, very, very naughty stuff on it. But just the way that spirals out of control, and he ends up kidnapping someone and keeping them in his basement. I can't spoil it for you, but I definitely recommend that. That's my kind of thing. I'm starting to get fed up of things that have 17 seasons with 25 episodes per season. You're like, oh god, I just can't bear the thought of it. I'm now looking for things that are like 4 episodes, limited series. I'm in. I'm going to have to look up this thing so as I can tell you what it was called. It was called Inside Man, because it also had Stanley Tucci, who I quite like, and he was like a criminologist. So it was a limited series. It was 4 episodes, but it ended with like, there's so much more to come. And you thought, well, if they managed to cram that all into 4 episodes, what's season 2 going to be like? And I hope that hasn't been cancelled or anything like that, because yeah, it was very good. I have a spot for that Justin Timberlake movie, In Time. Yeah, I quite like that as well, I must admit. Sorry. Alright, Graham, I'm going to need a review of Travellers next week. It's homework. Can you keep giving us the we need to see more movie stuff? Watch a few episodes. It's a great show. Travellers. Okay, I shall try that. You watch that and I'll watch my first ever Jean-Claude Van Damme film. I mean, to be fair, there are no Jean-Claude Van Damme films that are must watch. However, if you do want to watch any Jean-Claude Van Damme films, watch a few of them and then go and watch the series, the TV series called Jean-Claude Van Johnson, I think it's called, where it's Jean-Claude Van Damme playing a version of himself as a washed-up ex-action hero trying to get work, and then mixing a little bit of secret agent stuff in there. It's very good. I'm not explaining it well, but it's very good. Red Dwarf, the win. Do you know, Hans, that was about to be, if I had done 21 questions this week, the 21st question would have been the theme tune to which series starts with, it's cold outside, there's no kind of atmosphere. And I thought, I can't put that in because nobody will know that. So it's not been on telly for years, and it's only people from the UK will know that one. So I've now spoiled one of the questions for next week's quiz. Travellers is on Netflix. Let me look at Travellers, because I think I might have actually watched this. Oh, is Travellers the thing where they go in the ball thing that goes from time to time? One of them's a scientist, one of them's like an army guy, one of them's... Oh no, it's not. I've tried to watch Travellers 2 or 3 times.
7 months ago.
Yeah. I'm on episode 3 of Travellers because I keep giving up with it because it does my head in. Sorry. Not Spaceballs. It's like a time... The one I'm talking about is there's like an army guy, a scientist, and another scientist. A female scientist, a male scientist. Or like a female scientist, a male IT guy, and an army guy. And they go from time to time, travelling through time, solving and causing problems, basically. I quite like that. That was quite fun. It's good, I promise. I have a rule with anything that I give it 4 episodes. And it's been really hard to get through episode 4 of this one. Same with podcasts, with comedy shows, with comedy series, whatever it might be. I'll give it 4 episodes and then make my decision, because it takes a minute to get in there. But yeah, Travellers has been hard work. It's been hard for me to get through episode 4. IT Crowd, one of my favourites. Yes, definitely. I'm thinking of Timeless, am I? Pardon me. I am thinking of Timeless, you're quite right. Yeah, that was quite fun. I enjoyed that. Again, they only made 2 or 3 series of it. But it's one of those things where, yeah, you know how some TV series, they have like, they'll have 12 shows for a season. 1 to 4 are good, and 8 to 12 are good, and the ones in the middle are just like, oh, we're going to delve into the backstory of this character, and you're like, oh god, don't care, don't want to. That at least had, well, just pick a new time to go to, so they didn't have to do that, so I enjoyed that one. So yeah, that's the one. Oh, there's a good film with Rainn Wilson. I do like Rainn Wilson. Saltwater Lake or Creek. It's set in reverse order. Every day starts, you watch them go through that, and then you see the day before. Ooh, I will have to look at that. Have you ever watched Vikings? I have not watched Vikings, but I have watched... have you ever seen Welcome to Lilyhammer, I think it's called? It's got the guy from The Sopranos. I'm now going deep into... I think it's called Welcome to Lilyhammer. It might just be called Lilyhammer. Yeah, it's just called Lilyhammer. So the people who made that, so that's a good series anyway. It's obviously a lot of it's subtitles. It's Norwegian Scandi drama type stuff with a hint of Sopranos in there. It's really good. But the people who made it also made a load of Viking series. That's not even a word. Series. Which is like a comedy series, and a lot of people that are in Lilyhammer are in this Vikings. It's hilarious. I haven't watched the Vikings series, but it's on my to watch list. It's just, again, it's another one of those where you're like, oh, there's loads of them. Can I commit to this? Who knows? Hans grew up on British comedy like The Young Ones and Bottom, and of course Red Dwarf. Oh, there's a good call. Line of Duty. That was something I didn't watch until we were on like Series 6. And again, you can kind of... I can forgive that because each series of Line of Duty has its own storyline, as well as the overarching storyline for every episode of it. So I was very much against watching Line of Duty until I watched the first couple after. I was like, oh yeah, I'm into this. Good. The Boys is a recent discovery of mine. Yeah, everyone keeps going on about The Boys. I did watch the first one of it, and it was fine. And my eldest son keeps going on about The Boys being it's genre defining. It's the best things in sliced bread, and I do mean to get into it. And one of the people at work, in fact, who often joins this, keeps telling me it's brilliant, but I haven't got back into it. I must do that though. I'm surprised no one's mentioned like all the biggies like Game of Thrones and things like that. We've now just moved into the TV and film review section of the evening. In fact, I'll log into my Netflix and see what I'm watching at the moment.
Now, wait a minute. Let's do it over here.
Oh,
Right here.
what I'm
Ribs.
actually doing at the moment
Lay into him.
is I'm currently rewatching
We should hire
Suits.
you.
If you've never seen Suits, it is.
What do I have
It's
to do?
almost the dramatic alternative to the Fast and the Furious series. It claims to be a courtroom, law room drama. But it's the kind of thing that if it seems that they've given, and I watched this when it all came out at the time, and it was my guilty pleasure at the time. It seems like the acting notes that were given to all the actors were ham it up as much as possible, times that by 10, and then we'll film it. It's if you watch it not caring that it's terrible acting, it's hilarious and brilliant. So yeah, that's very good. What else am I watching at the moment? Narcos, because I'm going through a bit of a Pedro Pascal thing at the moment. What else have we been watching? Not much on. Kind of running it. I've completed Netflix basically.
This thing.
Who knew that was possible? Anyway, where did we get to? Sorry. Took me ages to get into The Boys, but it's just nuts. I think I could get into The Boys. I haven't. That's the thing. I just need to make some. I need to make the commitment to sit down and say I'm going to watch a couple of these, and then I'll get into it. What's your favourite fish movie? The Incredible Mr. Limpet. Don't know. Maybe Jaws, probably. Jaws is a good one. I mean, Finding Nemo it's a great film. I don't know. Is fish movie a genre? Who knows? I wasted hours recently rewatching House. Yeah, I watched House. It's House, CSI. I remember in the old days having like box sets of CSI. Have you ever watched Royal Pains? Similar to Suits in acting quality. Well, I think I've got one terrible acting thing is good enough. A Fish Called Wanda. Yeah, that's a good fish film. Oh dear. Right, I think we're nearing that time of the evening where we say thank you for joining me. Make sure you click that like button on your way in or your way out. Oh, Deep Blue Sea. Yeah, what's that one? The Abyss, is it? With the fishy thing that follows them round. That was quite good as well. Oh, oh no, what am I thinking of? The Jason Statham one, where there's like a megalodon comes and gets them. Mega Shark, is it called? No, I can't remember. That was fun, or that was quite funny. But yes, if you are watching this, give me a like or a dislike. Just show some kind of emotion on your way in or your way out. If you want to go and watch something after this, I'm sure there you go. Scott Haddo is Cold Water Aquatic Stream is on after this usually. Show some love to some of the people in the chat. We had Mountain Goldfish. No, we didn't. We had Mountain Aquatics in earlier on. We also got Freshwater Ichthyology. We have In the Bag Tropical Fish UK. And various other fishy channels. Go and show them all some love. You can find their links. The Meg. That was it. The Meg. Again, I do love a ridiculous film. I think if they're... And there is a new Meg coming out. Yeah, I can't wait. I think if they're overt enough about this is ridiculous. Come and watch this. It is mental, rather than, oh no, this is like a serious, in-depth look at the psyche behind. Yeah, no, it's a mental film. I love a bit of that. But yeah, go and show some love to all the people. Go and watch all the videos. Go and join the Discord. Buy the things. Click the buttons. Thank you very much for joining me. I need to pee, so I'm going to go. Bye.